These books behind me mean one thing. It's time for some more information. Topps Chrome was one of the biggest releases of the year, always is for baseball, and they didn't mess it up this year. We'll be breaking some on the channel soon enough via Whatnot, just waiting on the shipment. But I wanted to go into the TacoFractors and the Frozens because I had some questions. Let's look at these. Let's go. TacoFractors versus Frozenfractors. That's right. Basically, you get them out of the jumbo boxes for the Frozenfractors. TacoFractors you can find anywhere. TacoFractors are on a 200 card set. Basically, they're super short prints, base checklist. Basically, all of the base checklist has a parallel of a TacoFractor, and they're all numbered to 5. There's Ian Happ there, 3 out of 5. Frozenfractors are there to the left. They're from -1 to -5. I was wondering if there was going to be a 0, but -1 to -5 is what we've seen that has come out. Base checklist numbered down to 5. There's 200 of those as well. So in general, because of just, hey, there's 200 and there's 200, they're both numbered to 5. There's same number of them. So the scarcity should be the exact same, right? There shouldn't be more TacoFractors or more Frozenfractors. But that's not what I'm seeing. That's what is making me scratch my head. And let's look at some other things. So what are the odds? Here, this is where I get a little, So we all know that the TacoFractors are numbered to 5. It says it on there. The number 2 on the Frozenfractor says various, which is weird. So are you saying that some of them aren't numbered to -5 or some of them numbered to -6? Are there zeros? Are there 0 out of 0? I haven't seen any of those. I looked through all the ones that have been sold on eBay and all the ones that are listed on eBay, and I haven't seen any of that. But if you look here in a hobby pack of jumbo, you're looking at every 602 or every 51 boxes. Same thing, look at jumbo because it has the best odds out of anything besides Breaker's Delight. 308 boxes, so 6 times more rare out of a jumbo hobby. But that makes sense because, they are also other formats, but it still is all the same. You still see it because of all the different formats. Start over. So let's look at all the formats for each set. So here we go, or for these two variations, Frozenfractor and TacoFractors. The thing that sets me off is this base set Frozenfractors number 2 various. Does that mean there's 0 of zeros? Is there -6? Are some of them just to -3? Are there differentiating? So far, you see that it seems like all of them are numbered to -5. So, -4, -3, -2, -1, and -5. So there's still 5 of them. But it kind of makes you wonder when they put various on here, what does that mean? Now, the next thing that kind of makes me scratch my head, and I'm trying to, figure it all out, is okay, with the hobby packs, there is a chance of getting a Frozenfractor every 602 packs, every 51 boxes. You look at the TacoFractors, and it's 6 times that amount. But that kind of makes sense when you look at everything. They're the same number of cards, but it's 6 times harder to pull. But there's also all these other formats that they're in. So that makes sense, right? It makes sense that it's there, but it seems like they're more scarce. When I look at everything, it still seems that way. So let's look at eBay at Frozenfractors. This is of 8/3, so this will be a few days old when this is actually produced. But it just gives you a snapshot in time. Little over a week of release time. Currently, there are 35 listings of Frozenfractors with the lowest auction, and it was several days left, like 3 days left, of $325. Then there was one at $12.50, $48, and $49. There's 5 more listed of those 35 for under $100 with 2 with no bids. I think they're at $99 and they had no bids. Buy it nows range from $150 to $8,800. That's Adley. I don't know if that's the one Striker pulled or not. I haven't gone back and checked the numbers, but okay, I understand. It does make me wonder. I looked at that card. It doesn't look like it has a sleeve, and it's in a one-touch, which to me I don't like because they jiggle in there a little too much for me, and they can get scratched. But here are those that I'm talking about. You see the 325 up there for the Robbie Ray. And you can see the ones that go for more are the rookies, are the ones that you've heard of, like Spencer Steer. I assume that one will go way high. 5 days left, $62. So, but let's look at the TacoFractors. Again, same time frame. There's 16 listings, so less than half of the listings. The lowest auction's at $31. Then you have 107, 108, and 140. There's 4 more listed with bids. All of them have bids, and they're all above $150. There is one also that has no bids. It's Alex Bregman at $600. So I think the guy's asking a little too much. You're going to have to find a Bregman super collector that's willing just to drop it on there, unless another Bregman shows up, and then the price goes down. 7 buy it now listings from $299 to $150 or $1,500, and that's Ezekiel Tovar, which I can see that. You know, is he a quarter as good as Adley? Probably. So Ezekiel Tovar is a good rookie. And here's those just to kind of give you some reference. I wanted to make sure I'm legit here and show you that, hey, I'm just not making up these numbers. This is interesting. In that bottom row, you see the TacoFractor only spot for Topps 2023 Chrome. They're doing 25 cases. That's pretty cool. It's over almost $900 with 3 days left. That'll go well over $1,000. I'm thinking that's pretty interesting. 24 cases. Good grief. All right, listings are nice, but what about sales? You know, I can hear a lot of people say, well, there's listings and there's sales, and I only look at sales. Me too. So we used 130 point, but there's not a ton of sales, so that's why I wanted to look at both. We used 130 point to look at both. First, Frozenfractors, same date. 17 reported completed sales. So eBay might have 4, but these are the actual completed sales, paid for, everything. They range from $55 for Carlos Correa to $371 and change for Brian Bello, with an average right in the middle, $163. Just some more stats. 3 sales were actually below $100, 5 sales above $200. So it's just a good spread. And of course, a lot of that depends on the people. And here are all those sales that I saw. So you can see like Goldie was close to 200, 315, Garrett Mitchell, then Brian Bello, Matt Olson, which was kind of interesting for 180. Thought that was a little much, but the guy was asking 200, and so they just took the best offer. Then you have Devers, 2 of those different Devers, to -4 and -1, both sold for 250. And that's about it. Down there at the bottom right is Torkelson for 150. Now this isn't all of the sales, it's just a snapshot. I think the Frankie Lindor also was an overpay as well. $250 for Lindor compared to all these others. Again, I think you have a collector. TacoFractors. This is the part where it makes my head again start to spin. You're saying these are the same scarcity, but 13 sales, only 13 versus 17, so a little less. The actual sales are so much higher. The bottom one is David Fletcher for $285. That's almost the top. That's the second from the top. That would be the second highest if that was a Frozenfractor sold. And then there's a $900 one, which is Yoshida. Makes sense. Japanese players always seem to sell higher, and he's a good rookie. With the average double what you saw in the other, if not triple, close to triple, $421. And here you're going to see more stats. Only 1 sale below a 300, and that was the Fletcher. Only 3 sales above 400. So that just tells you there's been some really high sales, which Yoshida, there was the $900 sale, and then there was an $850 sale. Different cards as well. And here's those numbers. So, I mean, just look at some of these. William Contreras, 325. Brian Reynolds, 325. Giancarlo Stanton, 430. Kybert Ruiz, 305. Oscar Gonzalez, 350. I think that's a little low for a rookie, truthfully. Christian Pache, 325. Marte, 305. That just tells you something. I don't understand. Frozenfractors have a much bigger following, a much bigger scuttlebutt about them. People are really excited about them. But technically, they're all the same. The rarity and scarcity should be the same. Maybe we're seeing this because there's not a lot of retail out at this point. And as more and more retail gets out there and more gets ripped, then more and more of these TacoFractors are going to show up. But as of now, I think I'd rather pull a TacoFractor. Sales heavily favor that. Availability is far less. It's supply and demand. Hobby seems to believe that TacoFractors are more valuable at this point than Frozenfractors, even though I think the better eye appeal is Frozenfractors. I haven't actually held either one in my hand at this point, but from what I see, the Frozenfractors are a little more eye appeal than the TacoFractors. I'd rather not have a taco on my card, but it's kind of cute. So that's it. Wanted to make it kind of short and sweet. Thumbs up, subscribe, like. I'm going to put out more of these where I'm just kind of dissecting different sets and what I'm thinking about things. So I think it's a pretty cool deep look into Frozenfractors and TacoFractors. So if you could subscribe, join us on any of the breaks too we have. You can find more information in the description. We do breaks baseball and football via the Whatnot app at this time. So thank you guys as always. Be kind, be nice to those around you, and peace out.